Hey guys, my name is Stephanie Richardson, and I am so glad. I know we have some people from our team, but then we also have other teams throughout Beachbody on our call today, and we are so excited. Basically, the first time I met this woman, I cried. She probably thought I was a little nutty. Watched the video of this program coming out bald, then stalked her in the halls at leadership and said, please, 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 can I please be in your test group? I had spent at that point thousands of dollars in doctors and functional medicine doctors and supplements, trying to figure out what was going on with my body. Ended up in the hospital thinking that I was having a stroke, and I was just desperate I felt so gross in my skin. I felt like a fraud as a coach, and I just was at my wit's end. And after hearing about this program, I thought this is going to be the thing that's going to help me. And so I met Ilana and was just so happy, stalked her, and just said, like, please, 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 Ilana, can you help me? And so she graciously, somehow I got in the group. I don't know who I talked to, who I emailed or whatever, but I just want to introduce Ilana and introduce you to our team.
And by the way, I definitely remember that. And I remember sending like a quick email to someone like, this woman just approached me, please like get her in the first coach.
She's crazy. And so
I'm so happy you did that. And look how amazing you look.
Thank you. I've been working with a mentor for the past 4 months, and I guess the end of December. And he goes, whatever you're doing, it is working. He goes, you look so amazing. And he's in fitness and is a personal trainer. And he was just blown away by my results. So thank you. 19 pounds.
You look gorgeous. But it's like, it's more than that. Like,
I just feel amazing. So yeah. Okay. So go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Thank you all for being on this call. This is such an amazing turnout. I'm so happy to see all you beautiful people. And we're in all such good company because, you know, I always say, and you guys will hear, positive people influences a more positive weight loss. So I love that you guys are starting a coach-only group and giving it a positive start, because that will only enhance, you know, more positive results. Someone said they can't see me.
Okay, let me try to, I thought I pinned your video, so.
I think my video should be up. Hey everyone. I'm like kind of a mess. But
can you see her now, Corey? I pinned her video. Can y'all see her? Yeah, Shanna.
Okay, so just hi everyone. Okay, so we've been kicking off these calls mostly just, you know, kind of me explaining my background and my history and my own personal story and struggle with weight loss. So I guess I'll start there because it's long and I'll try to keep it brief. But yes, I'm a registered dietitian, and, you know, I have a long, extensive background and education in nutrition, but I am not going to give you advice that you may have heard before from a dietitian or another weight loss program. In fact, you'll be quite surprised that a lot of my advice and philosophy is quite different than what you've heard before. And that's why, you know, I definitely recommend you have an open mindset to it, because it all comes from a place of, I've been there and I've done that because I've actually had to lose 100 pounds and keep it off in my own way. So I'll start by kind of giving that story. So basically, I was morbidly obese as a kid. Really, really, really morbidly obese as a child, vastly bigger than everyone else around me, not just chubby, but like really obese, to the point that my doctor at such an early age started making a big deal about it. So obviously friends, family, my parents, friends, my, you know, deaf aunt, everyone would, you know, make a big deal about the fact that I was so big and unhealthy looking. But my doctor also at a really young age was making a really big deal because I was unhealthy. Like I was just actually really unhealthy. And unfortunately, the obesity crisis with adults and kids has been on the rise in the past 30 years. Like tremendously, but back then, I really stood out. And, was embarrassed in my first ballet class, so never wanted to go back. Embarrassed when I couldn't do monkey bars, so never tried again, and really was just like letting my whole childhood pass before me, and slip away from me because I was just, in such a bad place with my health and well-being. And my parents got divorced when I was young, which probably instigated the whole thing. And spinned off my negative relationship with food, lots of emotional eating. We moved around a lot. There were a lot of marriages and divorces and step siblings and ex-step siblings and all this silly ridiculousness that me and my siblings underwent as a kids. And food just became my mainstay, and I would just binge and emotionally eat as just a little kid. Like, people couldn't believe, my family would come home and be like, where did dinner go? Like, I ordered all this dinner, and I'd be like, oh my God, that was for everyone. And I just always ate a lot of food and loved to eat a lot of food, and really always associated with a big comfort part of, living and being and coping with hard times. And then it just got to a really bad place. And it was actually only when I was 8 years old, like that's how young I was, when my doctor visit turned to enough is enough. You have to, like, parents, like, you got to get involved. We got to send her to weight loss camp. I'm telling you to take her to these dietitians. I'm telling you to, have her work out, but nothing's working. She has to just go to a camp and really like give herself a shot to improve her health so she doesn't keep gaining at such a dangerous rate. So that summer at 8 years old, I went for 9 weeks, shipped away by myself to fat camp. And it seems totally crazy. And I was like the youngest group there, but I actually loved it because, at an early age, I started associating weight loss with happiness. Weight loss was summer camp and summertime and color war. And so I kind of avoided the fact that we had these like portion controlled, restrictive trays of food and we had to exercise all day, because at the end of the day, I was really happy to lose weight every summer so I can, go back and start the school year in a more refreshed state. But unfortunately, my parents weren't changing, I wasn't changing, and I would just gain it all back and more every school year. And that became my pattern. So I would go to camp every summer, lose like 30 pounds, and then gain it all back and more every school year, like gain like 45. Lose 30, gain 45, like you get totally yo-yo dieting, negative relationship with food, my body, the whole thing. I started manipulating like, oh, I could eat more during the school year because I have that safety net of going back on that like diet program. And it was just terrible and toxic and horrible. But at the end of the day, my parents were, real dieters, like struggled with their weight forever. I really didn't have a positive role model in the space of nutrition and weight loss. I didn't really have a better concept for myself, and I kind of just gave it up to this bad cycle until I hit my highest point. And I was at my highest weight in about 8th grade. I weighed 215 pounds, and I was only 5 feet 2 inches tall. I was wearing a size 20, which was hard to find. You couldn't find it in stores, so I had to special order it online. Or if I had a special event, my mom and I would literally go to a fabric store and go to a tailor and have to like make a dress, because I refused to go to Lane Bryant as a 12-year-old. And they didn't even have kid appropriate clothes. So just horrible. I was in a really bad, funky place. I was always sociable. I was always confident. But I was always just so weighed down by this, extra 100 pounds that I was carrying with me. And it was just holding me back from really living my best life. So that's when I just changed my mindset and I said, enough's enough. I'll go back to camp this summer. I'll, try to work my tush off and lose those 30 pounds, but only as a kickstart to me creating my own way for myself. Because I need to actually keep the weight off this time and actually continue losing more. So that summer I went back to camp, I lost some weight. And when I went into high school, I said, enough's enough. You are not gaining this weight back. If anything, you're going to lose more, and you've got to find a better solution, and you've got to change your mindset and make it positive and have fun with this and keep eating a lot of food and keep loving food, but in a more positive direction and way. So I did. And I literally, I would find, friends in high school who seem to have a healthier way with eating, or their families, their moms seem to have a healthier way eating, and I have sleepovers and I'd ask them questions and I'd help cook with them, and I would just try to learn what's working for people that I'm not seeing or getting, because I watched my parents do every sort of crazy thing, and I knew I was never going to follow a diet, want to do that. Yeah, I had enough of like seeing quick fixes, seeing toxic, buying all this stuff, trying all this. I was like, I'm not doing that. There needs to be a more livable, happier, better, more fulfilling approach that's actually sustainable. And I really kind of started figuring it out with different philosophies and tools and strategies. I realized it didn't really matter how much I was exercising or going on the treadmill. If I wasn't eating well, I wasn't seeing results. So I really started telling myself, Ilana, eating is everything. Exercise is extra credit. I started realizing what is working in the summer. I can't work out for 10 hours a day, or no one else is cooking my food for me like that. So what can I do during the school year? My parents aren't gourmet chefs. We do a lot of takeout. How can I order from restaurants or takeout places or convenient places in a way that tastes good, feels good, is convenient and worthwhile, but still helps me lose this weight? So I just really started kind of piecing together different philosophies, tools, and strategies, and it worked. And I kept losing more weight along the way and keeping my weight off. And then I knew I wanted to study nutrition because I was seeing dietitians since I'm 8 years old. So I kind of that's like the job that always kind of appealed to me. I loved the idea of being a cheerleader, of helping others do this. And I really wanted the best education for my own personal weight loss. So I was doing it in the most sensible, appropriate way. And also, if I was going to make a career out of this, I wanted to make sure I was really an expert in the field. So I went on to received my bachelor of science degree in nutrition and dietetics. I got my registered dietitian license, later got my master's degree in nutrition, to make sure that I had the best possible background and I was giving everyone the best possible experience and advice, how to lose weight properly and sensibly and healthily, and using my own personal experience and, make sure that everyone feels fulfilled and satisfied and lives their life and still can have cocktails and still go on cruises and vacations and weddings, and have it all and have it really all, and, and eat your cake too, as they say. So I kind of just been piecing it together. And then I was hired by UCLA right out of school, which I just actually came from. I was just at UCLA. UCLA hired me right out of school, and they basically said, okay, so now Ilana, you're down. I was down like 75 pounds at that point. As a dietitian, they said, we're going to give you a weight loss seminar. So we're going to give you 100 UCLA employees and create a 12-week curriculum to help them lose weight. Here you go. So I kind of just rolled with it. They gave me no template, no outline, no guidance, and I kind of just created a 12-week seminar of curriculum of piecing together everything I did practically from my own experience and what I was learning in school, and created a program of sorts. And the results were excellent. Like the average weight loss was about 12 pounds in 12 weeks. They were happy. I was happy. But we both kind of wanted to keep pushing the needle and seeing how far I can take this. So I then started tweaking, like what were the messages that resonated most with people, and what worked and what wasn't as effective. And basically within these 100 people, it is every demographic. So I had 70-year-old women who were secretaries sitting most of the day. I had, women and men in their 40s who work night hours as nurses. I had 17-year-old cooks in the kitchen, professors, and everything in between. So I was working with every nationality, women, men, people with thyroid issues, injuries, whatever it was. And I started seeing like what's working for the general public, like what is working no matter what issues or hurdles or stumbling blocks or curveballs people have, what is just working for everyone to lose weight happily so they can actually learn to keep it off. And it kept getting better. So I ended up teaching for 10 semesters, and every semester, the weight loss average improved amongst the 100 employees I got that semester. And I started realizing it was a mindset, not a metabolism. Sometimes the 70-year-old women who were injured and couldn't exercise would lose more weight than the 19-year-old man who's a janitor and on his feet all day. And I just kept seeing it really comes down to a mindset, like who's taking this, who's really rolling with it, who's putting the effort in and staying consistent with it in a positive way and seeing more positive results. And in my 10 semesters, I ended up over doubling the weight loss average. And then luckily, and now I still, by the way, teach at UCLA and I'm on staff and lecture, once a month lecture for people who've taken my class and want to keep maintaining their weight. So I get to do that, which is nice, and stay on staff there. And then I thankfully met Beachbody. And I met Beachbody and I said, I have a great weight loss program. Let's turn it into a big Beachbody program. And Lara and Beachbody were like, we don't do it like that. We take our time, we test it well, we perfect whatever you have, and we make it a zillion times better. And that's basically what we've been doing for the past 2 years. And that's why, you know, now within the test groups, the weight loss average is even greater, like so much greater than I was even seeing, you know, in my last semester at UCLA, because we've really pieced together what just works for like everyone all the time to feel good, feel happy, feel successful, keep living their lives, and keep losing weight and learning how to keep it off. And now I'm so excited to present it to you guys after this whole journey, so you can do it too.
I think it's so awesome that it's taken 2 years. It's not like just something, well, not awesome probably for you. I mean, you're probably like, oh, finally. And Laura's probably like, finally. Victoria, all of y'all are corporate are probably so happy to find
I think it's like been one of their longest, I mean, Lara can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was like the longest time they've put into the development process of a program.
But tell everybody about the people that are in the group before us. What month did they lose more weight? Because I always think this is so interesting.
This is like probably the coolest part of this program. And this is, you know, a month out, a lot of you are probably like, what can I do now? What can I do now to get me ready? And I know it sounds really cheesy and corny, but the thing you could really do a month out is actually change your mindset and really set yourself up for the best expectations for this program, because it's really different than anything you've ever done before or even heard before. Because how it works is I'm basically going to give you enough. A lot of people think like the mindset. So what is it like? I'm meditating on a grape and eating it for 30 minutes. I could eat mindfully. It's not like that at all. Like it's practical, it's feasible, it's really like real and raw. And it does have structure to it. And there's enough structure and guidelines. So it is really effective, but it is flexible enough that you can make your own meals, make your own food decisions, and keep living, you know, your best life. So one really interesting thing is that I'm basically showing you guidelines and tools, but it's really up to you to kind of create your own system through practice of what works best for you. Because I'm not prescribing you to like eat, you know, chicken and Brussels sprouts for dinner on Tuesday night. It's not a prescribed meal plan like that, because it's not realistic. Like what if you have a PTA dinner or a church event, or, you know, your husband wants sushi for date night. You know, you have to live your life and be flexible. So I'm just giving you kind of tools and strategies so you can go on and live your best life. And so that's why the first month takes tweaking and experimenting and trial and error. But once you get it and it clicks, the weight just really melts off. So what Stephanie's alluding to is that like one of the most interesting things in testing this out in this program is that people really tend to lose more weight in month 2, 3, 4, and 5 than they necessarily do in month 1. So while you should see a weight loss right away, and you should definitely lose weight that first month and that first week, and I want everyone to lose weight all the time, it's one of those programs like you would never be discouraged if you lost 1 pound in a week, because it still means that you could lose 3 the next, or if you lose 8 pounds the first month, but you lost so much more on a starvation diet you did in the past, like you wouldn't be able to compare the two, because on this, you lived your life, you're eating full, you're satisfied every step of the way, and you could actually lose more the next month because you'll always be learning from what you're doing and really figuring out what works best. So the first test group we started, were not just coaches. They were actually kind of everyday people. So the first test group we started was over a year ago. It was like almost a year and a half ago. And they were just everyday people who did Weight Watchers in the past, people who were 60 years old and 50 years old, and men and women, and kind of just everyday Americans who struggle with their weight. And, it's like over a year later now, and it's incredible seeing that some of them literally have lost so much more weight since we filmed their testimonials and after pictures. And, they keep being more successful. Like, I think the most successful weight loss month for that group was like in month 6. It was crazy. But by month 6, it was like everyone clicked. Everyone saw the potential. Everyone got it and just went with it. And it was like wild how much weight people lost in that 6th month. Even people who had PCOS and women going through menopause and all these things, you guys will really see it. It's kind of like how much you put in this is how much you really get out.
So my question is, who is the To Be mindset for? Because I know a lot of people, you know, I mean, I know who it's for, but I would love to hear from you who it's for.
Yeah, I think you guys are going to be amazed at how wide this audience is, and how much wider it is probably in comparison to, you know, other things you've tried to get people to do in the past. Because the first thing is that exercise is not required. So, you know, think about how many people are willing. I mean, I was just talking to a group of people, and so many people are willing to start, you know, Whole30 and keto and vegan, like all these like eating only programs, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, you know, who aren't as willing to start a workout program, right? Because we all eat, we all can relate to eating, and not everyone is as inclined to wanting to exercise and challenge their bodies in that physical way from day one. And that's fine. So from the start, this can definitely attract people who have no interest in exercising, don't want to, aren't motivated to, don't feel like they have the time to, don't like to, or also like just personally speaking, like as someone who's 100 pounds overweight, you know, like, and going on a treadmill 100 pounds overweight or trying to do a cardio step class or aerobics class and feel everything bouncing up and down, it doesn't really feel that sexy and wonderful. So one of the coolest things about this program is, you know, it definitely is amazing for those who don't want to exercise or aren't willing, who want an eating only approach. And then actually you guys will really likely see what we've seen in test groups is once you actually lose a lot of weight, you shed those extra layers, and you feel more confident and strong in your body, people will actually want to exercise more after doing this for a couple of weeks and months. So it's definitely an amazing thing to attract to your neighbors, your family, your friends, your customers, your clients, everyone you've been around who don't want to challenge their body through exercise, but eat, so should, you know, want to eat better in a way that actually makes them feel good. So it's definitely for people who don't want to exercise. And it's also for people who I'm sure a lot of you can relate to and possibly feel like, who do exercise regularly, do put in all of that physical strenuous effort, but don't see the results you really want because the eating's not in a good place and the weight is still, you know, kind of not showing, which I totally relate to because I used to do crunches all the time, you know, 100 pounds overweight and like, where's the definition? Like, why don't I look like Britney Spears? You know, I'm doing her ab exercise that I read about online, you know, so it's like, it's also for those people who are exercising but aren't seeing the results they want. It's definitely for people, you know, I say like 16 to 75, you know, people who just either have dieted a million times in the past and are sick of the yo-yo roller coaster and the deprivation and the negativity, or for people who just never did a program before and are just kind of like uneducated and need a fresh, new, better approach. And it's for people who have an emotional eating past, have an emotional relationship with food, really just struggle to have a positive mindset and connection with food. So some people have really benefited from this program who didn't have weight to lose, but were just so negative, you know, like felt like every time they ate a piece of cake or a cheeseburger that they were being bad, or they felt guilty about it, or felt like they had to do a double workout the next day, like just in that negative mindset and thinking that this program really helps to like shed away from, because there's really no guilt with this program. There's no cheating. There's really nothing off limits. You know, you really just kind of create, it's really just a yes focus. So you're really focused on, am I eating enough of that? Am I getting enough of that? Am I feeling full enough? Like the focus is completely on the positive. And so you're never feeling deprived. So for everyone who's done, even people who seem healthy and fit on the outside, but internally are negative, can really benefit from this.
So that's even people who, I know we have probably a pretty high percentage of our team that has struggled with eating disorders. So for them, this would also be a good program for those with eating disorders have past.
Well, I say this because eating disorders is a very temperamental thing. So I never want us to advertise as good for people with eating disorders, because if eating disorders are classified as a psychological disorder, not a metabolic one. So I really caution with people who have strong eating disorders, have really negative relationships with the scale, and stuff like that. I think most people in America who've done at least one deprivation diet have some form of disordered eating, because a lot of diets out there are kind of like pro disordered eating practices. A lot of like no list, yes list, like that's already bad list, good list, like that's already kind of a disordered way of looking at food. So I think, this can definitely benefit someone who's acquired a disordered perspective of eating because they've done so many diets. But if there's someone who has like a real psychological issue, it's deep rooted based on personal issues and it was manifested in eating, I wouldn't push this on them. They should be seen by trained group of professionals, be at a professional clinic. So I caution to say like, this is great for people with eating disorders, because I don't want to say that, because that really takes a team, and close monitoring and real professional experience and advice. So I'd say this is for people who, if they've had a bad eating disorder, I really hope they wouldn't start this until they feel like all those core issues and the deep root of it has all been solved. And now they're,
They're ready to kind of get a different mindset, kind of a healthier. Yeah. So one of the questions a lot of people are asking, like, what is the program? And I don't know how much you can share, but, can you share more about what it is? Because, I know we have to kind of be a little bit vague, but what does the program, what can you share that the program entails?
Yeah, I definitely, we can share it. We can share a good amount. It is video based. So, just kind of like the workout programs, it's video based. So it's, you're going to have videos. It's a series of over 20 videos to kind of really understand the philosophy and the approach. All in all, it's a package of over 40 videos because it includes so many recipes. But it's over 20 videos, I think 26 videos that really like kind of underline the 2B mindset philosophy. So it starts with my core foundational principles. It goes into how I break down the food groups. It goes into how to break down a meal, what to look for breakfast, what do you want for lunch, what do you want for snack, what do you want for dinner, what makes sense with the 2B mindset. So we start to view food as more than just taste and pleasurable and convenient, but it's also purposeful in a different way that helps you lose weight and feel satisfied. It's then me in the kitchen, how to set up your kitchen with the 2B mindset to set yourself up for best success. It's me going through the grocery store, showing you like, come on to the grocery store with me. Let's do this together, and literally picking things up and showing you like how to look at foods in a different way, which is the coolest part because you're going to find that this is seamlessly should integrate in your lifestyle. So while in the first month, of course, it's going to take a couple extra minutes a day, you're going to be more conscious of things because you're starting a whole new way of thinking and program. So you should expect that. At the end of the day, you're already going to a grocery store to get food. Now you're just doing it with the 2B mindset. You're already ordering takeout, right? So there's a video called Don't Cook, and it's me at a kitchen table with a huge stack of menus. How to order Thai, how to order Chinese, how to order Japanese, how to order Italian. So it's like you're already ordering takeout. Now we're just doing it with the 2B mindset. So you're already traveling. So there's a video how to travel, and it covers like a 3-day trip and a longer trip. There's a video on how to go to events, and we talk about daytime events like a birthday party or a sports watching game with your friends, or is it a wedding, or is it a cocktail party? So literally how to keep living your life with the 2B mindset. And then all those questions that you've thought in the past, like, what do I do if I hit a plateau? There's a video for that. What do I do if the scale goes up? There's a video for that. So there's really kind of like a video kind of answering all of your type of questions. And then there's a lot of recipe videos that kind of, as you'll see watching those videos, reinforce like all these little things. You'll see how they kind of come together as we're like in the kitchen. And even if you've never cooked before, your gas isn't even on in your kitchen like my brother's, you will see that you can literally follow these recipes in a pinch, big, satisfying, delicious meals, and still keep losing weight. So even if you've never like followed a recipe before, don't worry, I haven't either. They're very like assembling, not really gourmet chefing. So I think you guys will really like them. They're super easy and convenient and delicious. And then also Beachbody is great at making like assembling guides. So we have a go-to guide, there's accompanied recipes. And so you're actually going to get a box. It's going to have a water bottle. It's going to have like a lot of cool things to it. So you can actually do this with best success with the tools you're getting. And I saw like someone did a question of like, can you do this if you're dairy free, gluten free? Yes, yes, yes. you're dairy-free, if you're gluten-free, if you're vegan, we have a special video on how to do this if you're vegan. You could do this if you're kosher, you could do this if you're, gluten, any sort of allergy intolerance you want.
Yeah. Just as it relates to as it relates to product stuff, obviously over 40 awesome videos, super educational and informative, but you guys will also, when you purchase, get a whole bunch of goodies that we developed in the package in the mail to you. So you'll find out all the details at Super Saturday, but I'm giving little sneak peeks for everybody. Getting started guide.
Wait, where are you? I'm trying to find you so I can highlight you.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, where are you? Go ahead.
So some of the little treats that you're going to get in your package, aside from all the videos, getting started guide, instructions how to get started, go-to guide. Basically, this is a companion to all the videos. So you'll learn all of Ilana's principles, and then they're reinforced in this principle. So if you don't want to go back to a video, you want a refresher, but it's really a companion reinforcing key principles. So you don't have to read a 200-page book. You just watch the videos, and this is a little handy guide. Recipe book, 30 recipes in the recipe book. Totally different than any sort of recipe videos that you've seen before. But Ilana, is in the kitchen, keeping it real. It's not so, it's not pretty, it's not perfect, but the food's delicious, big, satisfying, yummy meals. And then tracker book, you'll soon see why tracking everything is so important. And this is really a custom 90-day tracker we created just for this program, based on Ilana's program, based on all of her clients, based on test group feedback and all the testing we've done. But it's really special, really unique to the program. We're going to give you 90 days to start, and awesome water bottle, 30 ounces, lots of special things on there you'll see soon. But anyway, nice kit, physical package of things coming to you in addition to the videos.
Yeah, and I'm seeing some questions. I opened the chat. One question is do we really have to go on the scale? It is a weight loss program, so you're going to want to see that you're losing weight. So if you have this terrified notion of the scale, I will change your mindset on that. You'll see a lot of the fear of going on the scales because you're just not going on it. But when you do go on it and you have the 2B mindset and you have all the tools, that are helping it go down, you end up looking at it as just something that's tracking your progress, and something that you're actually looking forward to seeing, rather than something that you've been dreading in the past. So definitely don't worry about that. And no, you do not have to use a food scale at all. I've never used one. I don't even know how to use one. So you do not have to measure your food. I always say, if you have eyeballs in the mouth, you can do this program. You're not going to have to overly measure your food. You're going to just kind of look at, I'm going to show you how to kind of plate it and look at your meals in a way that, you can go to a restaurant or go to a buffet or go to a friend's house and still eat without, taking a food scale out. So, and then the next question I saw come up is, what is the order to watch the videos? So that's a question that we're definitely getting asked a lot, because most Beachbody programs have a calendar of, how to watch things, how to do things. And for this, we decided to take that prescriptive notion out of it, because everyone's so different. And it's not workouts where it's one a day, because, we've actually made these videos quite succinct and tight and fantastic. And so you might feel you can binge watch half of them in a night. Because as we all know, we can do worse on Bravo or E or Netflix. So, a lot of you might feel that makes sense, I want to watch the next one. That makes sense, I want to watch the next one. So we didn't want to overly, control that. But I do recommend you go at your own pace, because it's not a race. And just because you watch the videos faster than someone else doesn't mean you're going to lose weight faster than someone else. Because it's really in the practicing of the principles that you are successful. So, and you guys will see it really comes down to coaching, because while I'm going to give you the tools and the philosophy and the strategies and everything and how to go to a birthday party event, it's still not your cousin's birthday party event that has that food pusher grandmother there who's shoving cake, so we all have our own scenarios. And that's why the coaching and the coaching groups that, Stephanie will have, really that's what reinforces the mindset. So don't rush the videos, take them at your own pace. If you just watch the first video and literally stayed there, that first video is sometimes something I've just given to lectures. If I get asked to speak at an organization, and people literally email me months later, like, I lost 20 pounds from that 1 hour talk. Like, so just so you know, like that first video can really already jumpstart and help you see results,
Right.
and, you know, change your mindset. And then you'll, you know, keep watching them as needed. So don't rush them, but if they make sense and you're getting them, then, you know, keep going.
Yeah, so for those that are going to be in our coach group, we are going to, Kobe and I have kind of broken them out, like similar to how you taught it a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, for you guys, we like tested out, like,
yeah, we're going to be, so not to overwhelm everyone and just say, watch all the videos before our call tomorrow. We're going to break it out a little bit to not overwhelm people, but then give people the freedom to move ahead if they want, so that they can do that. If they want to binge, they can binge.
And there's definitely a video on emotional eating. There's a video on, like, what if you're like me and you love to eat a lot, like how to eat more, and how that's okay. Like, I'm a big believer that you could eat more and way less. So what's the best approach of doing that? So it's really like, there's kind of like a video that touches on all of these things.
So tell me about kind of what you learned from hosting some of the coach groups and then the other test groups. What are
that's such a good question.
Besides our group, when you got on our case and said, y'all need to calm down.
Yeah, I think there's like a huge impulse reaction. And I always say we have to be responsible, and responsible means able to control our responses. Because I think everyone has like a real gut reaction to my philosophy and approach, because it's different. And it's definitely different than like anything you've seen, anything that's out there. I'm never like, it's just different in so many ways. And honestly, I can tell you, I think they're the best ways. And not only because they work for me and obviously my clients in the test groups, but they're also really backed by science. And I mean, every day I see another really excellent research article that comes out supporting another pillar of this program, which is really cool and exciting. It's really sustainable. And we're really, like, everything I'm telling you are things that have not only worked for the test groups and myself, but are actually really well backed by research as being like excellent approaches to a sustainable and sensible and fulfilling weight loss practice. So I definitely say things that are different. I'm recommending things that you may not have heard before. And I think everyone has to realize that that's a good thing. Change is good. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. And the obesity epidemic in America has literally been on a striking rise in the past 30 years. And this is like what I literally just like, you know, did my master's thesis on, and everything is like, we've been on a really bad trajectory following very similar approaches. And so mine is going to feel different because we need a change to see a change. So I think that was like the first week of your test group, and some of the test groups, it's very like reactionary of like, but this is so different than what I've been hearing or saying, and it's like, but that's okay. Like, give it a shot. And then people really do have that open mind and then see like, okay, that makes a lot of sense, and I'm seeing amazing results, and this is actually working. So I think one thing is have an open mind going into this, and also be open to the fact that it's going to work for you, because it really has been tested on now like thousands of people, and it really does work. And I think a lot of people want to say, but I have PCOS, but I have a low thyroid, but I have bad genes. But I always lose the first 10 pounds easily, and then I struggle, or I always lose the first 5 and I gain it back, because you're basing this on a history of other things. And this is a very, very different approach. And actually, like, someone just posted that they hit are now in the 120s. And I'm not saying anyone has to be, and I'm not saying anyone has to be a teeny size, you know, everyone has a different healthy point, but this program has really shown that you don't just have to, you know, lose that bulk of weight that you felt like you gained this past year. You can actually get to the weight you've always wanted to be. You can actually get to your fittest and trimmest and healthiest self. And so I think everyone has to just open up their mind that this really can be a very amazing solution to really help you overcome whatever obstacles you felt in the past. Because I think a lot of us are in this, you know, idea of disbelief, because what I'm saying does sound too good to be true. And if you've done enough programs in the past, I'm sure they've like broken your spirit in some way, because you lost weight, but then you gained it back and all that stuff. But just be open-minded to the fact that this is a different, more sustainable, pleasant approach that really works.
And I love that it's sustainable, like that it's forever. This is not like a 30-day group or a 60-day group, or even like, this is like, you're in it for the long haul. And I think that's what, you know, we're reactionary, I think, at first, and then all of a sudden we're like, we love you so much. This is the greatest thing ever, and I can't wait to shout it from the rooftops. But it was so different at first, and so everyone on here, it's going to be different. But I love the fact that like we have to do something different in order to make a change. And so if we're all really serious about making a change, we have to do something different. And so I'm really excited about that.
And I think that's, like your group also, like, I think one thing that the coaches in particular had, we're thinking about is, obviously it's a big part of Beachbody and they're amazing. Like, are these like before and after pictures? But just so you know, like, I love to call the 2B mindset before and progress pictures, because we're always improving. Like, I mean, I hope to be in my best shape better shape next year than I am now. So I really think you have to change your mindset on that. I think a lot of the coaches were so fixated on like, but what about my 1 month results and my before and afters? Like, I feel like I had better before and I think everyone has to like change their mindset. Like, this isn't a race. It's about sustainability. So I'm not even I'm obviously very thrilled and happy when people post before and after pictures or show how much they've lost or how great they look and feel after a month. But for me, like, I'm really never settled and happy until I see that you've kept it off at year 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and you still feel good and you still feel happy, because life is long and we want to live the best, fullest life we can. And short-term quick fixes are not a measure of happiness and success. So I think that's one thing that, your particular coach group like had to wrap their head around, because they were so obsessed with like, but I need to show my 3-week results and this and that. And I was I'm always less concerned about that. It's really not a time thing. As long as if you're losing 2 pounds a month, but it's permanent and you'll never see it again, and you now have all the tools so you can lose another 2 or 5 or whatever the next month, then you're winning. As long as you're still losing weight and feeling good and just getting into a healthier place with your body and your mindset. So I think that's one thing everyone has to kind of like wrap their head around.
So I know you have to go, because we've held you on for like, I could talk to you for hours and hours, because I feel like we're BFFs, but anyway, but everyone's going to feel like they're BFFs with you after they watch your videos too. But one of the things when we're trying to talk about, can you talk about the differences in a weight loss program and a building program? Because we're coming off a building program, and so how is this different than a building program?
Yeah, I definitely think that a lot of people are asking me like Beachbody Performance. Are you going to be using Beachbody Performance? So I saw someone wrote like, can we exercise? Isn't exercise good for you? Sure. If you love to exercise, continue to exercise. One coach, a couple of coaches decided that they weren't going to exercise so they can show people in the future that you don't have to in order to lose weight for this program. And then they were like, I'm losing my mind. I'm so stressed out because I stopped exercising. And I'm like, why would you stop exercising if it makes you feel good? Like, exercise should make you feel good. It should be something you look forward to do. If you already love exercising and you love, muscle building programs and all that stuff, then you should absolutely continue. I definitely recommend though that you bring the focus to this. Like, you don't start this the same day you start a deadlifting or shift shop or something like that, because this should really take your focus. And you can still get really lean and strong with this program. So if you see some of these before and afters, like, it's crazy when you hear that people didn't work out that much while doing it, or worked out 2 to 3 days a week and not every day, because they really look so toned and lean. Because while you're losing weight, you're really losing fat. So you will be preserving your lean muscle mass. So even if you go from a 6-day workout to 3 days, or you continue 6 days, but you do low impact, or you keep 6 days and you keep your high impact, you will be able to maintain your muscle mass in this program, because there's protein at every meal. You're eating full, satisfying meals, so you're really burning fat.
Sorry, hold on. I just accidentally, there was some background noise. I was trying to mute. Can you unmute?
Yeah, I'm unmuted. So I think you can, if your goal is to build muscle, this is a type of program where you'll actually see the muscle. So you won't, like, if you're continuously lifting weights and doing a workout program like that while doing this, you'll have a very lean and strong look. If your goal is to be more thick and bulky, this is probably not the program to do. I think this is, but if you want like a lean and strong look, then this program would be great if you wanted to accompany this with some, you know, weightlifting as well. And we've had a lot of people do this coach test group while doing the 80-day obsession workouts, while doing, you know, the shift shop, while doing PAYA, while doing everything else. And they see incredible results. I mean, obviously, because they have that dual thing going for them. But I definitely recommend like make this your focus for at least 2 months before you start like a really new out of the box intense workout program. If you're used to doing intense workout programs and it's already in your routine, then sure, continue it while doing this. But I wouldn't like, if you never exercised before and your eating's a mess, I wouldn't like take them both on necessarily at the same time, because this really does take focus and energy. And you're probably sometimes going to be better off taking an hour in your day to go to the grocery store and mapping out your, you know, meals for the week than you are taking that 1 hour to do, you know, a cardio class per se. So it's like, this really does take effort and focus, and then this becomes effortless. And that's when you're going to want to weave in more and more exercise down the line.
I know that Kobe worked out the whole time. I didn't. And so, but he says that, and he's in the chat saying he has deltoids now because, you know, just the difference in the way he lost 35 pounds before and the way he lost 30 pounds this time, his body looks totally different.
Yeah. And I want to say, by the way, like I exercise often, you know, I love it. And I always have exercised often and regularly. So I don't, and I'm also like a certified fitness instructor and used to teach fitness classes and as a yoga instructor. So like, I don't want anyone to think I'm like anti-exercise by any means. I love it, but I've always realized that it's great for you. It's great for reducing your stress. It's great for helping you sleep deeper. I mean, I think for me, it like is my calm and serenity and time away to just, you know, be better to myself and everyone else around me every day. But I just think it's really important that everyone changes their mindset about it and doesn't look at it as like a way to eat extra, a way to eat extra sugar, a way to justify overeating at other points. It's like, and I think people really need to strengthen their mindset and how they view food and their body first, and make sure that's in a good place if you're coming from that negative state in how you view exercise.
Right. That's it. And that's where I was. Awesome. Thank you so much. With some great questions here. We're going to continue to answer questions, and I am so excited, Ilana. I cannot wait, and I'm excited about that baby coming at the end of May.
Yeah, I'm really pregnant.
Are you feeling it?
Yeah, no, I feel amazing. Thank God, really. I can't.
Oh, so cute. I can't wait.
Very
So,
cool.
and we can't tell you what 2B stands for, but you'll find out soon.
I can say, I mean, this question obviously comes up a lot. In terms of what does 2B stand for, it stands for my base principles. My basic principles that you guys will hear and understand immediately in the first video. So it's kind of like
We're gonna find out Super Saturday.
Yeah, so you'll see.
Did you talk about what they mean on Super Saturday?
Yeah, is it in the so isn't it in the video? It's in the if you go to the coach, it's in the Ilana video.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's in the Ilana video. If you go to the coach office, there's an 8-minute video. It says Meet Ilana. At the end
It says
TVs.
Okay.
But
So
I have
make
to
sure you
say-
get to Super Saturday, Super Sunday, wherever you are. Ilana, we love you. We're so grateful.
And you look amazing.
Thank you so much for really helping change my life, Kobe's life. I think so many other people, and I'm so excited about bringing this program to our team. So thank you so much.
I love you all. Thank you all for showing up and being here today. It's so great.
What a great turnout. Thanks, Stephanie.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.